Brian Johnson, and this is Focus on Liberia. Hit it! From Kemau to Cape Palmas, Mount Nimba to Atlantic Ocean, Obomi Hills to Bokonjre, to educate, elevate, and promote. Talk about home affairs, hey, in diaspora, current affairs, hey, reliable information, history, talking about culture, hey, politics, education, entertainment, business, sports, advertisement, articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. From Monday to Sunday.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this special edition of Focus on Liberia, Primetime Sunday. My name is Dennis Jai. We are broadcasting from Atlanta, Georgia. In this edition, we're going to be looking at the replacement of Senator Prince Y. Johnson, or the late Senator Prince Y. Johnson, who's going to replace him. So I call it the road to replacing the late Senator Prince Y. Johnson in the Senate. Who's going to do it, and what will it take? Let me welcome my guests here, all from Nimba County. I have Mr. Jerry Bacon. He's an analyst in our sister TV station, LPR. Welcome, Jerry.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Let me welcome Mr. Nixon Zaw. We just got him from Unico meeting. Nixon, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jai.
Let me welcome my friend from Betwo, Nimba County, Mr. Vasiki Kone. Welcome, Vasiki.
Thank you. Great to be here.
We want to welcome all our viewers from across the globe. This is an all Nimba panel. Let's talk Nimba politics. Quite recently, Senator Prince Johnson passed away. He was senator. People call him the godfather of Nimba County. Some call him the kingmaker. He was a pastor, evangelist, also a school proprietor, and all that. Tonight, we are focusing on just the Senate, the road to replacing him in the Senate. When he passed, there was a tribute to Prince Johnson. Just take I want to play that quickly, just so that we see what we're talking about here.
The Nimba entertainment industry says to the Berry family, to the Nimba people, to the Senate, Vice President and the President of the Republic of Liberia, and the world at large, we say our deepest condolences. This is MC Madonna Pakule.
All right, that was Tony, please turn your phone sideways. That's what happened when you're late. But let me welcome Mr. Tony Leeway. Way back, Tony was he was the man. Everything Prince Johnson. That was Tony. That was a long time. But I don't know. He left the FBI.
Wow, long time.
Anyway, Tony, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ja. I'm very, very happy to be here. You know, it's a sad situation, and I have to be here at the time that our honorable is gone, but I'm glad to be here.
Thank you. If you could switch your phone like this landscape view, just turn it
Which way? This way?
turn it sideways like this, the way I'm holding the phone. You can see me?
I can see you, but
Yeah, all right.
No,
like
hold
that.
your phone sideways. Don't hold it like this. Hold it this way.
Oh, landscape view
Yeah,
like this.
right. That's it.
Okay.
Tony Leeway, it's been a long time, man.
Yes, it has. How you been? How you guys doing?
Told it long time. This is Jerry Bachman. Wow, it's been a long time.
Wow, look at that.
Happy New Year, Mr. Leeway.
Before we
Happy
could
New
start
Year
the
to you
show,
guys.
before we could start the show, I just want to go around the room and say something brief about yourself, you know, because this is an all NIMBA panel. So the side of NIMBA you're coming from, district, whatever, or your affiliation. Some people already, or if you're running to replace Senator Johnson, anything about yourself. Let's just have a quick intro here. Let me start with Mr. Nixon Zaw.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ja, and hello to my fellow Nibayan, my elders online tonight. My name is Nixon Kukakaka Zo. I hail from Zo Siaplopo, Old Town, Zoget District, District number 4, Nimba County. By way of introduction, I'm here in the capacity to speak as Nixon Zo, but I'm the chairman of the board of UNICO National, and we are proud to be citizens of Nimba County. And I want to say my condolence to all Nibayan for the death of Senator Johnson, and may his soul rest in peace. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Tony.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Ja. First of all, my name is Tony Leeway. I think I'm no stranger to this media group. We started years back. But I'm glad to be here. I'm also from the same district and town with Mr. Nixon Zaw. He's my little nephew. And so we are both glad to be here. It's Johnson happy to come from our district also. I'm not directly related to him, but I'm politically related to him in that I have advocated the cause of what Senator Johnson stood for throughout the years when I served as chairman of the party. And currently, I'm still a member of the party, and we are very glad to be here to share our views on the legacy, the uh, uh, journey of Senator Johnson throughout history. We might not be able to cover everything, but at least we can share light on those things that he did positively to impact the lives of our people. And we are very glad and very proud of him for his service to our people, especially giving his special interest in education and the faith uh, that he shared with other people. But just for
Thank you.
introduction, I will stop there at this time.
Thank you. Let me go to Jerry.
Baze banche, I would want to now do Tanya. The Jaya, Mount Wama, Jeremiah, and back home. That's what the wobbly. Doru. Good evening, good afternoon. I'm Richard from Doru. I'm from District 9, Lower Nima County. As you can see on this, my partner there, I'm co-host of the Liberian Public Radio, also as a security analyst. And thank God I'm here. We are going to talk Nima tonight. I'm speaking as Jerry Bachman. I'm not speaking as any representative or any ethnic group, but I'm speaking as Jerry Bachman. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. And we also have Vasiki Kone, my friend from Wetwo. But Vasiki is having some challenges here. So again, on behalf of Focus on Liberia, we want to say our condolences to the bereaved family. And we say, no, my Niba people and Liberians for the passing of Senator Prince Y. Johnson. Let me hear from my friend, Mr. Vasiki Kone, Prof. Kone.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
Just keep it straight. Okay, yeah, good.
Okay,
Go
that's
ahead.
good. That's good.
all right. My name is Vasiki Kwana. I'm a writer, commentator, and cultural activist. I hail from District 7 in Nima County, to be specific, Saklipe District. And it's great to be here today, having panel discussion with my fellow Nimbayans, Bakon, Nixon, and Mr. Tony Leeway. I've known all these gentlemen for years now, and it's great for us to be here together to discuss about very important issue concerning our county, Nimba.
Thank you. Let's start briefly by, and Tony already started that, the Senator Prince Johnson. I mean, if I were to ask you who is the role of Prince Johnson, the role he played in Nimba, right? Or how did you look at him in Nimba? Did you see him as the kingmaker, the godfather? Just tell me a little bit about, Prince Johnson, the Prince Johnson you know. Nixon.
Oh, okay. Excuse me. Thank you. I want to say thank God that I had an opportunity to have an encounter with Senator Johnson before I traveled to the United States. I did not know him for a long time, but for the little short time that I knew him for, he was a man of principle. Senator Johnson was very patriotic when it comes to Liberia, Nimba County. And because we are talking specifically about Nimba County tonight, I want to say we were blessed to have Senator Johnson as a son of Nimba County. He was a man that stands for the truth, straightforward, speak his mind, he's fearless, and above all, he believed in his people. Prince Johnson will stay here and you come and say things to Prince Johnson about somebody else. And when he sees the next person, he will say, look, Mr. Leeway came here, he said XYZ, but you what's going on? We need to settle this. So I think Senator Johnson was a king's man. He was a peacemaker. He was a father of everyone. And one thing I want everybody to know is sometimes when people pass, we are quick to give judgment to people. But what I can say is Senator Johnson, besides other aspects of his life, his career, but I think lately, everyone got to know him that he was not only a godfather of Nimba County, he was a godfather of Liberia. The past two presidents and the current president we have in Liberia, during the elections, Senator Johnson played a major role in unifying our people. And when it comes to his people, Nimba County, he put them first. Senator Johnson will always open his door to everybody, whether you're a little boy, whether you're a little kid. As long as you want to have a dialogue with Senator Johnson, he will give you that corridor. So I just want to say that Nimba County, Liberia have lost a very good, kind-hearted man who loved his people and put them first.
Thank
Yes,
you.
he was a king's man.
Thank you. Mr. Bacon.
Yes, I never met Prince Johnson. May his actually rest in peace. As a writer and as an analyst, I had different views. But this time, let's Prince Johnson rest in peace. I know hopefully sooner or later we'll be having by election somebody that will replace him. And Prince Johnson played his role in the Liberian election, especially when it comes to politics in Liberia. He was when it comes to Liberian politics, he played a significant role. The writer, the historian will judge him maybe 10 years down the line, maybe 15 years down the line, 20 years down the line, they will write out about him. But let's look at the past two, or about maybe the past three election, early Johnson Sally administration. he brought Ellen to us as a president. After Ellen left, he played a significant role in Liberian politics, brought George Weah as a candidate, endorsed George Weah, and George Weah won the election. And Mr. Boakai, the Excellency, won the election. So he played a significant role, not only in Nima County, but as well as Liberia as a brother as a whole. So Mr. Johnson played a significant role, and let's see what a historian would say or what a rhetorician would say about Mr. Johnson.
So who was Prince Johnson to you, to Nimba and Liberia?
Well, Prince Johnson, like I said, he was a president of Liberia, and not only to he shared his boundary, he had no limit boundary. Let's put it that way.
Thank you.
Because,
let me go to Mr. Connor. If you can unmute. Oh.
Johnson, you have to see him from two different perspectives. Prince Johnson during the war and Prince Johnson after the war. Prince Johnson during the war, some people will say he was a hero, some will say he was a villain. But Prince Johnson after the war, I think that's where I will zoom on. He played a very important role in the history of Liberia, post-war Liberia. After his exile in Nigeria. You hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay, after his exile in Nigeria, he came back to run in primary with United Party in 2005 election. He was rejected in the primary. He decided to run as independent candidate and won.
Hold on, Tony, what are you doing? Why are you turning it around again?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Please turn the phone back where it was. Go ahead.
All right, so he ran as independent candidate. He won. And ever since then, from 2005 until now, he played a very important role in the Liberian politics. I had the privilege or the honor of meeting him on 2 different occasions, or having 3 different encounters with him. The first would be after the Unico election in 2014 in Maryland. Prince Johnson spoke to us that night. I'm sure Nixon can remember that.
Yes.
Tony Lewis can also remember that. That night, there was a Guild man running for president and a Mano man running for president. The Guild man was the late Philip Diakoro. The Mano man was Nyadoki. It is Nyadoki that won the election. Tony and I were on the same side in that election. And right after the election, Prince Johnson spoke to us as Nimbayan, emphasizing unity among us despite the ethnic division. He said, whether you come from the Mano side, the Gio side, the Mandingo side, we are all Nimbayan. Let's work together and support the winning candidate. Then in 2014, I went to Liberia to do a documentary on ethnic and cultural diversity in Liberia. Prince Johnson was one of those that I interviewed for that documentary. I went to his church along with the late Peter Toby and now Assistant Minister Mark Dabate. We sat through his church. He preached on reconciliation, peace. He talked about the role he played during the war and the role he was playing now as a senior senator for Nimba County. It was great, and that interview is documented in my documentary. It's on YouTube. The last time I met Prince Johnson, I did so along with Ms. Lewis, a former assistant minister in Ellen's government, who has been a great partner to me. We have an organization, we travel all around the world. So after the last election, I traveled with Ms. Lewis to Ganta, Nimba County, where we met Prince Johnson. We had great conversation with him. It was like a family conversation. all was about promoting unity among Nimba people.
Right.
And
So
it was on that,
Prince Johnson has a unifier.
yeah, unifier. On that occasion, he told us that one of the reasons he supported Musa Belete was to make sure that it shouldn't be seen like Une Mano and Gilbo can represent Nimba County. But at least his support for Musa solidifies his position as a unifier of the country.
Thank you. Let me go to Mr. Tony Leeway, someone who actually chaired the party that Prince Johnson established. Tony. Tony, my question to you here is, Tony, my question to you here is, some outside of Nimba County saw Prince Johnson has someone who promoted division and helped marginalize smaller tribes or ethnic groups like the Mandingo, the Bui, the Crown. That all about him was about his ethnic Dan or Gil, and everybody else he did not support. Speak to that.
Dennis, that is far from the truth. I think Basiki mentioned the 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 kind of person PYJ was. Unfortunately, as we live, we will have
Excuse
critics
me.
who will talk ill about us, people who will spread different uh, misinformation about us, giving their own perspective about our lives. And we can't control that. Each one of us have the right to our own opinion. So it's difficult for somebody to control another person's view on what they think about Prince Johnson. But the Prince Johnson I know was a unifier, like Batiki said. I think in most cases, even when we had issues with the Madigo land, he would always say that, look, we need to settle this thing. The people who used to live there, let them come and live amongst us. We are the same people who come from the same background. And we are not different from any other person. So let's find unity. To tell you the truth about Prince is when he actually met the Doe family to reconcile with those widow, Mrs. Doe, and the children of the late Samuel Doe. These are signs that this man was a peaceful man who wanted peace in the country. Despite the fact that there was civil war, people played their role and they came back home, but he genuinely wanted to see us united.
Thank
You
you.
can tell from the singing of those songs praising him, and they all attributed to him that he was a unifier. They were singing in Crown, Kru, Grable, Bassa, and all the different tribes that exist in Nimba. So this is a clear indication that PYJ was not a selfish person who only thought about his own ethnic group. I think he cut across the board. PYJ could speak Crown and any other language that he came across, that he people that he grew up with. So it was not really about a specific ethnic group. But what happened was, the reality. I mean, he felt that his people were marginalized, they were being slaughtered, they were being killed, and he came to liberate them. And we consider him our hero. And forever in the history of this country, he will forever be our hero. That it is the fact. And other people might reject that, but that is what it is.
Thank you. Let's go to the Senate seat. Who are we looking for to? Are we look when we talk of the replacement of Prince Johnson? Are you looking for another Prince Johnson, or who specifically are you looking for to replace Prince Johnson? Jerry, let me start with you.
Yeah, let me come to that question first, but let me answer the first question you posed first. Let me relate to that. When it comes to Honorable Johnson, let's be realistic here. When your question was based on marginalization of the ethnic group or the minority group in Nimba County, let's speak to that first.
Okay.
It's reality. It's reality. Prince Johnson was senator for how many years? Close to what? 2-term president, 2-term going to 13. Let need one person. Number 20. They need one person. The minority group. How many person was in your office? Need one person. Or the minority group. Oh no, come in. Hold on, sir. When you're talking, please give me the audience. Please give me the audience.
I just
All right. They need about 5 because there are 3 minority groups in Nimba County. You got it. The Bee, the Mandingo, and the Crown. How many of the 3 minority tribes that Prince Johnson had in your office? That's number one. For all the duration as a senator. The unifier, I mean, I was giving, when Josh Weir was going to be as a senior senator representing the entire Nima County, he went where he stopped. He stopped to Wendin. He never fought a poll in Nima in Biandoru. So the records are there. If you say you saw unifier, that's great. But we as the minority tribes in Nima County, we are being ostracized by the minority tribe, or the majority tribes in Nima County. So these are issues. If we want to say, after the death of Prince Johnson, if we want a new Nima County, these are things. But we're not going to do V-Mayor right now. But the question you pose also, I just want to do, as a minority in Nima County, I just want to make that point clear. When it comes to the question you pose, who going to succeed him? Let's see. It left with the current vice president to see, because he is the vice president. He also the vice president for the Republic of Liberia, to see who you got to endorse. And
my question was about the kind of person. Do you want like a second Prince Johnson? Do you want another Prince Johnson to replace Prince Johnson, or you want to go in a different direction? In your mind, who you want the replacement of Prince Johnson to be? Another kingmaker, another unifier, another godfather, another whatever.
No, you see, all depends the shoe that on your foot. And, you know, if the shoe on your foot, you speak to that point, because as a majority, yes, he's a unifier. But as a minority, I will speak as a minority here tonight, and our representative the minority group. We never benefit anything. Let's be realistic. We never benefit anything from the excellent of Mr. Johnson to say, yes, this is a pinpoint, this is what I did for Biandoru people, or this is how many persons I hired from Biandoru, or the not the Manan tribe, or the Mandingo tribe, and the Crown tribe. Maybe we have a little bit about our tribe in Nima County. So these are some of the issues. The new person who's going to come as a senator, hopefully he will reach across the spectrum to make sure that all these people are included in their office.
Thank you. Let me go to Vasiki, since you are also a minority in Nimba. Do you share the sentiments from Mr. Bacon?
Well, I would differ with Mr. Bacon in the sense that, like I just said, the 3 times I met with Prince Johnson or I encountered him, he emphasized a lot on diversity in Nimba County. The senatorial candidate he supported previously from before Nyatwanye, talking about this guy, Thomas Groupie.
Okay.
He was a Gio.
Yes.
And I think he supported Thomas Groupie against Ide Gonglo, who was Mano. So there were a lot of complaints from the Mano side that all the candidates that Prince Johnson supported for the Senate after Adolfo Dolo has been Gio. And when the vice president succeeded in becoming vice president of Liberia, leaving the Senate seat vacant, Prince Johnson decided to support Nyatwanye. I think that was a major consensus in Nimba, that this time around, let the Senate position go to a Mano man.
Because they couldn't have 2 down people.
Yeah, they had done 2 down people before. They had Thomas Groupie and Prince Johnson. They had Prince Johnson and other candidates, other senators. So basically, besides Adolfo Dolo, all the other senators that was elected in Nimba County and that were endorsed by Prince Johnson were Gil. All right, but the last one now, because like the current vice president was a representative and he succeeded in becoming senator, there was a battle between Ide Gonglo and the current vice president for the Senate position. There was also a battle between the current Thomas Groupie and Ide Gonglo for the same position. All right, Thomas Groupie won based on Prince Johnson's support. the current vice president won a senatorial seat based on Prince Johnson's support. And on all those occasions, the prominent minor candidate was Ida Gonglo. She was defeated in all those campaigns. Okay, but then the last round now, after the vice president succeeded in becoming vice president, there was a vacancy for the Senate seat. Who was Prince Johnson to support? Many people say, well, since we have series of Gil senator, this time around, let's support a man who happens to be Nyatwanye.
Mr. Connor, before I let you go, was that a come to Jesus movement for Prince Johnson, or was he changing now, or that's just a unifying characteristics? Because if he supported down all through, now he's supporting now, was
Yeah,
it come to
he
Jesus
supported
movement?
Emmanuel this time around to be the senator.
Hmm?
And
Wow.
of course,
I'm saying wow.
one should consider that to be unifying, because at least this time around he listened to the voices of the people. Say, okay, let's have another person to be the senator. So you have Nyatwanye. Now the replacement of Prince Johnson will be like, should it be another Gio person? Should it be a minor person? Or should it be a minority tribe? That's a question that all Nimbaya have to discuss among themselves.
And
And
what's your
let's see.
your answer to that?
Well, say you have a minor man right now, which is Nyatwanye, and the other candidate that many people rooted for before, who happens to be Ida Gonglo. Can she go there and without balance the equation? No, because you have minor man to have another minor person. There'll be question about that. Okay, should give people
But you
let
said
it
you
go
have
to
two
another?
years before. But should we even be considering this tribe to, oh, we have Manuel Agio? I mean, why not Crown? Why not B? Why not
Well,
Indigo?
fortunately or unfortunately, when it comes to ethnic balance in Nima County, it's always between the two major tribes,
Should it
the
be that
Gio
way?
and the Mana. Okay, should there be a candidate from the minority tribes around this time around? As far as we are concerned, Liberian politics as a whole, or Nimba politics in particular, is always going to be ethnic driven. It's going to be ethnically driven. For the most part, that is going to be based on majority vote. But can the majority vote for a candidate that is not part of the majority? I mean, that's the question that all of us have to face as Nimbayan. Okay, but what we've seen so far with Representative Koga, he made it look like it's supposed to be a coronation of him as the replacement of Prince Johnson. But I think it should be left with the democratic process. Let the Nimba people decide who they want to be the next senator of Nimba County.
Thank you. Let me go to Mr. Leeway. Mr. Leeway, who do you want to replace Prince Johnson? I mean, talking about the kind of person. I'm not talking about actual names.
I am looking for a Libyan who has the county at heart, who embodies what the Johnson stood for. Somebody who is capable of uniting our people and complementing our current superintendent who is doing exceedingly well in the county. We need somebody who will work with her to be able to promote the image of the county, promote the interests of the county, and ensure that um, the national cake of the country is distributed to counties that have the most numbers as opposed to just dividing on the numbers in terms of the number of counties we have. In other words, I'm looking for somebody who would actually be prepared to take that seat. As far as the issue of coronation of Koga, I think this was.
Before you go to that, the person will be does the ethnic group matter?
I think it matters because this has been a tradition in Lima. I'm told that there has been arrangement in the past where, when the two major tribes have to select one person to serve as senator. But does that provide for the democratic process in our country? I doubt it. Sometimes we have to consider the fact that the people vote for somebody who appeal to them more, somebody who present themselves to be the person who can provide for them the leadership that they're looking for. And so it is difficult to determine who is capable of replacing Senator Johnson. I don't think that anybody is even able to replace and take the role of Senator Johnson because he was a very different person, somebody who was more centrist than ever before. I think I heard Mr. Barton's sentiment. Of course, it's normal for somebody of from the Doro area to be concerned about the fact that they were not represented in that position. But I think when we had, when we count the number of leadership in Liberia, we had superintendent from Lee Doro area quite, recent years. But let's consider the numerical strength of each of the districts in terms of how the elections are conducted. So we have to consider people who have the electorate at heart, people who appeal to the electorate. So those are people who are going to make the difference. So even if there's two tribes serving, well, in my view, I think it will be democracy, even though it's not what has been agreed to in the past. But I would rather look for a competent and capable person as opposed to using ethnicity as a guard for whoever is elected.
Thank you, Mr. Zoe. Who should replace the late Senator Prince Johnson? The caliber of person. Is it should it be based on ethnic group? Should it be competence? Should it be okay? We have had enough of the majority. Let's have minority this time. Who are you looking for?
Thank you, Mr. Jai, and thanks to all my colleagues in the studio. I want to just appreciate you all for being very, very bold with your statements. But I just want to address something before I lost my thoughts. I will come to that, your question. What I want to say here is politics is interest.
Yes.
I was opportune to be in Liberia during the past bad senatorial election. And I can tell you on the record that Senator Nyan Twanye was overwhelmingly elected by the Gil tribe or the Dan tribe. He had more down votes than the Mana. That was opposite this time. What am I saying? A candidate should be a person that sells himself or herself out there to the electorate what they can do, maybe better than whoever they're going to succeed, or what they can do to merit the vote of the people. Because I see in Nima, I will be very, very appealing to minority tribes. I feel that word minority tribe, I don't think it's a decent word to give our brothers and sisters. We are all Nibayan, despite your location. It doesn't matter whether you be from B and Doru, whether you are from whatever district. We are all Nibayan. What is left now is to get rid of these old sentiments so that our our future generation, why do you think we travel from Africa in the Western world to adopt some system that will change our people? Like Mr. Lewa just said, we had a crime superintendent, even when the old man came here to canvass and look for opinion around that he wants to run during this current election.
Which old man?
I met with him in Minnesota. I met with him in 2 other places, even in Philly when he came here. Mr. Conan sitting here on Vasiki, my big brother, know when we were raising funds here for honorability, he and I, he know I will not talk about it, but I was one of those that went there. I'm not a Madingo, but guess what? Madingos are my brothers and sisters from Nimba. If a Madingo man is a representative or a senator, if I need a job, I think I should reach out to that Madingo, then thinking, okay, since we have five tribes in Nimba, 3 minority and 2 majority, he or she is going to pick. When people get into position, let's avail ourselves. Now, to come to your question of choice for the replacement of Senator Johnson, I think it is going to be a mistake. Thank you. It's going to be a mistake for somebody to say, I want him or her. NIMBA got qualified men and women that can replace Senator Johnson. The only thing we need to look at is if this person is supposed to replace Senator Johnson will be a unifier, somebody who will put behind them retribution. Yeah, this person did this person did that. Because I remember during the last two elections before this current election, there was the controversy about too many minors in the House of Representatives as compared to Gil. And then when we had two senators, when Senator Dola was defeated, it became a problem. And then I asked myself, we had 3-4 minor representatives. It wasn't a problem. And now the people elected Senator Grupi. He was not appointed. Why should it be a problem? So let us look at our diversity in Nima County and embrace it. If a monument, if a Mandingo, if a crown becomes...
Mr. Zor, why is this diversity not including Mandingo, Bee, or crown?
It is inclusive. I will tell you it is inclusive.
And when you say with the lot of people who voted for Yan Tuanya, they were mainly from the down tribe. Wasn't it
majority were from the down tribe?
Wasn't it because Prince Johnson, who was a towering figure, pointed them in that direction, or was it because of Yan Tuanya's own ability?
Yeah, I think it was based on the platform Yan Tuanya presented to the people.
Thank you.
And Nimba people, I would thank God for our people. We are very, very smart, intelligent people. We are not going to vote. I'm not going to vote for somebody because you are my brother. You must be able to convince me what you can do differently than somebody else. So I think Yan Tuanya victory, especially along the Gil belt or the down belt, is based on his platform and maybe coupled with Senator Johnson's influence. But I think it was Yan Tuanya because I met him 3 times.
Thank you.
And we talked, we chatted because I know him. I met the 2 candidates. So this is what we are seeing this time around. Let the best candidate win.
Thank you. Let me welcome Mr. Momo Tambatule. He's from Lofa. He's not from Nimba. But he tells me his heart is in Nimba. He has investment in Nimba. And he wants to be part of this conversation. And so, talking about diversity, why can't we have Mr. Tamba in? Tamba, welcome. And today, Lofa won. Congratulations.
Thank you. Hey, thanks to your panelists, for being present here tonight to discuss one of the most important counties in our country history. Nimba has a special place in every one of us' heart, whether from Lofa or whatever. Nimba serves as one of the most important county when it comes to our social and economic development. Anyone who's paying attention needs to know that Nimba, is for me is a county where many counties in Liberia should looking at the development and the developmental mindset of Nimbayans is something that many Liberians should pay attention to. But the topic on the discussion that you guys have, who replaces Prince Johnson and what are kind of leaders, the quality or leader, whether there will be a continuation of the Johnson dynasty or whether this is the end of his dynasty, and that's how I look at it. You know what I mean? So this election will be like a litmus test to whether the Johnson sort of political ideology continues or whether it stops right here.
And let me push you. What is that Johnson political ideology and philosophy?
Well, Johnson, Prince Johnson, based on history, from what we know, has been seen as this hero of Nimba County. That Nimbayans have hailed this man for for years, since the war, that he has been the one who has saved them. He has been their hero in during the times where there were dark days in Nimba, where Nimbayans were hiding themselves. It was this Messiah in Prince Johnson, or just Savior in Prince Johnson, that came up to rescue Nimbayans. So for that, Nimbayans have been grateful to this man, regardless of what the world, the international community or the outside world, saw him to be. Nibayan saw him to be as that savior, the one who made them to have a voice again in Liberia, because they were getting completely obliterated from the face of Liberia. Like, they were going against them. Nibayans were hiding in ceilings. Nibayans were being stored in a cassava bag just to transport them. They were being treated as not as non-human, and those were dark days. And you saw a son of that sword rose to the occasion to rescue his people, and he did it so well. So regardless of how America or whoever look at him, that for me, war, whenever there's war, there are all the collateral damages. He could not have his eyes everywhere to sort of control his troops. He had to do what he had to do to save his people. However, along the way, there were some missteps, but I believe that he deserved at the time to be forgiven, because he did a lot for his people, and for that, and that's why you see my heart is so much in him, because Nibayan are not ungrateful people; they are grateful
So
people.
I want to, even though I don't want us to drift away a little bit, but let's speak to that about this hero, right? Prince Johnson, the war we saw, he did not fight in Nimba. He passed through. And when the AFL were chasing Nimbayans around the place, we wake up in the morning, this Nimba family is dead, right? Prince Johnson was not there, right? He was still around. So let's call a spade a spade. So the main thing Prince Johnson did for Nimba people is to kill Doe, who was the head of people going after them. Is that it? Or actually Prince Johnson fought in Nimba to save Nimba people? Let us speak to that.
Okay, for me,
Mr. Jack, okay,
from a
sorry.
from a military standpoint, right? In every military sort of warfare, right? Because I serve here, right? Like, you have to go for the head of every especially a group, in order to disband a certain group. You have to go for the head, like they did to Osama bin Laden going after the Taliban, right? Once you strike their top leader, right, you tend to weaken the ability of that establishment. That's the reason why you see all these top Al Qaeda officials and stuff. The U.S. government went specifically to target them when Israel was bombed. Who did they go for? Their top leader. Once you hit the top leader, you tend to weaken the base. So Prince Johnson moving through Nimba to go and find Doe, who basically instructed his men to go after. Let call a spade a spade. We know we are reconciled. We're not trying to bring back the dark days. We're all Liberians. We are back now, but we're going back to history. We have to, in order to go further, we have to go back to remind us of our dark days. And when we learn and reconcile from there, we can move forward. So Prince Johnson came in. He did not have to only stop to Nimba, because Nimbayan were not just situated only in Nimba County. They were spread across the country. They were married to other tribes, and they were being threatened everywhere. I can tell you personally, my mom had to take a Nimba kid. He was staying with us in Bomi County. We were hiding this kid. We had to give him our own name, because my mom is from Bomi. We have to put our family last name on this kid until the town was then captured by Charles Tiller. Go to Gio were part of that. So when the town was captured, we then exposed this little kid, and then he was rescued. He was taken to Nimba, and then he had a life again. But what I'm saying is, to tackle the question. Let me go to the question, right? Prince Johnson, this election will be a litmus test to whether the Prince Johnson sort of political ideology continues, or Nimba reset in a different form, or Nimba politics move in a different direction. That remains to be seen. But what I see as as an ordinary Liberian, as an outsider, but love Nimba, as a true lover of Nimba County, that I believe the sitting government, the unity party, has a stake in that seat, and then they have a strong force. Like it or not, they have a strong force. They have the sitting vice president who is on the side of the ruling establishment, and you have so many other folks, Yan Twine, and all these guys support the government. So there. I mean, there is a way where it's going to be difficult for anyone coming through that. But however, it remains something for us to know to see, because the CDC said it's an open plea fee. It's they have the ability to take a seat. They can win NIMBA. So once we go to the election, whoever wins that election will determine what happens in 2029. But I believe that the Unity Party has a larger. I mean, they have a strong case to make. I think they are in a better position to take that seat.
Thank you. Nixon, you wanted to come in?
Yes, thank you. I heard you saying that Prince Joseph did not fight in Nimba. Let me just please help to set that record straight, Mr. John. Prince Johnson started fighting in Nimba.
Mm-hmm.
He fought
Tony,
AFL
you
in
keep
Nimba.
moving your phone. Why is that? Can you put
Who,
it
me?
back where it was?
No.
Tony.
Oh, no.
No, now you're
Okay.
Tony.
Prince fought from Butuo to Campley, where the monument that was just built recently is mounted around a place called Kiali. Prince fought there. It was terrible. Prince fought in places like Petu. But Vasiki Kone know what I'm talking about, Petu. He's from right closer there. Prince fought in Nimba all the way before he entered Bond County. So even places like Ziegler, Prince fought all over Nimba County. So if people don't have the record that he fought in Nimba, but he only ran, Nimba people are calling him hero because he killed Samuel Doe. You see, let's be very frank. Nimbayan are people that are very, very kind-hearted. What happened between Samuel Doe, Prince Johnson, and the Nimba people, the Crown people? I just want us to look at it like a past history and move on to the future. Because like my brother was saying, some of us here survived from bad attacks from AFL, like Lutheran Church. Nobody talked about it, the massacre of Nimbayans in Lutheran Church. Nobody talked about the massacre of Nibayan in JFK and other places where Nibayan were not given shelter in Monrovia by anybody. If you shelter a Nibayan, you're a rebel, you will be killed. I was almost 20, going to 21 years old when I was in Monrovia doing the war entered. I did not know how to speak one dialect from Nimba County, not Gil, not Mana. Listen, let me just give you a story. I changed my name from Nixon Zor. I was called Nixon K. Flumbo. Why? I need a survivor. If I have used any other name linked to Nimba County, I will not be living today. Those that rescued me for the first time, me and few other black guys, they were killed because somebody went and called AFL that they were harboring.
Hold on. Tony, is there any reason why your phone, you keep moving it here and there?
Maybe that phone is,
Tony, can you hear me?
Good.
All right, go ahead, Nixon.
Thank you. So the war was not balanced. This whole war that we are talking about from 1990 did not even start 1990. We got historians here on this medium tonight. We got writers. This war started from 1983, Nima Ray, up to 1985 after Kuyompa and Duo. And then Nimbayan were hunted and killed. Whether you Mana, you Gil, even if you are Madingo or Crown. My brother over there from the Crown, Do and Baru will tell you. If your mother is from Nimba, if your mother is from Nimba and married to a Crown man, she will be killed or the children will be killed. So we want to live a culture of forgiveness. Let's forget what happened because the war in Liberia was senseless. My father was killed by AFL after Lutheran Church. I lost almost 6-7 persons. Should I go take gun and fight in Liberia? No. I don't know who killed my father. I would be killed if I had taken gun that time to fight. So what we are saying here is Samuel Doe and Prince Joseph had a problem, and Unfortunately, Samuel Doe did not succeed, and Prince Johnson captured him. He was killed. It's fact. But we need to get away from this episode and talk on progress. Grand Judah and Nimba County had a reconciliation. And since then, the number of Nimbayan that live in Grand Judah, you can't count them. The number of Grand Judean that live in Nimba, you don't count them. So we need to move forward. What happened in 1990 is a past history. We need to talk about 20, 23, 24, 25.
Yeah.
What's going to happen next year for the next by-election? Crown people are citizens of Nimba County. Mandingos are citizens of Nimba County, 100%. And we love our brothers and sisters from the two ethnic group.
One way to move forward is who replaces Prince Johnson in your mind, and the question was asked, in your view, who, what kind of person should take over from Prince Johnson? If you can conclude with that, Nixon.
All right. I said initially, the Nimba people have the right to answer this question, including you and I here today.
I want your answer.
My answer is the person that will identify with the plight of the Nimba people, that will think when you are crying, you are Madingo, you are Gil, you are Mana, you are Bassa, you are Nimbayan. Once you are a child of Nimba County, it doesn't matter. That tribalism is what is killing Liberia today, not only Nimba. If we can get away with tribe and come up with idea to plan what we can do, what our next senator should be, should look like, I think the decision of Prince Johnson replacement will be a good decision as to, all right, so this time let's have a female since it's all male, or let's have this person. I think the person that have the qualification and the kind heart to be there for the people and to defend the right of Nimba County should be the replacement for Prince Johnson.
Thank you. Already we are hearing some names.
I'd like to come in here. What I'd like to first of all say, at this moment, we don't know yet who has declared their intention to run for the Senate.
Thank you.
All right. So far, we saw Samuel Koga, and the way he demonstrated by jumping over Prince Johnson's body, it sounded like inheriting the main position. But is he running? He hasn't made any declaration yet.
Right.
All right. I'm sure Ide Gonglo may want to come in, and some may consider her on the basis of gender equality or gender balance.
I thought you were speaking to what Nixon, because that's the question I was coming to now. About some of the names that we are hearing, right? Here are some of the, nobody declared yet, but here are the names we are hearing. Garrison Yellow, Samuel Koga, the guy who jumped over the body 4 times, Edith Gonglo, Thomas Groupie, Roland Duo, Ta Wongbe, oh, I got Edith Gonglo twice, Mark Blewon, Siliqua Armstrong, and George Gompo, Dr. George Gompo. These are some of the names that you are hearing. Tony, you heard some of those names too?
Some of the names I'm just hearing them tonight, but I've been hearing the air that some people want to contest, and I've seen some Facebook
Not hearing anyone.
write-up that provided some names, but
do you guys hear me?
Lima politics is much deeper than just somebody suggesting who's gonna win, who's not gonna win, because apparently the person, like Nixon said earlier, the person who is going to appeal to the people, who is seen as a leader who can ably represent the interests of the Libyans, I think that's the person they will vote for. With regard to Mr. Koga, Honorable Koga jumping over PYJ's body, I think I said earlier, I think this is a traditional ceremony which is I'm told that has happened in the past, but I don't know the detail of it. But I can tell you that Koga is related to PYJ, just as PYJ and Koga are related to Thomas Kurumpa. So there might be something that caused that ceremony to take place. But I think Koga's position as a traditional person is embedded in that ceremony that was conducted. I don't think it had to do with the senatorial position. If he want to contest, he has the right to do it. He's capable and competent. He's the current, I think, 60 years representative from Nimba. I'm sure that the people might have might have his ear, but I am not sure who's going to win this election. It's a competitive race. Nimba is a huge county with, I think, 7 or so electoral districts, and there's a lot of traveling that has to be done in a short period of time. So may the best person win. But I'm hoping that the Nema people at this time will select the best person who is capable, competent, and can represent Nimba in any country, in any place around the world. More especially somebody who is going to be able to bring, some international flavor to our county. I mean, even though the leadership of Liberia is centralized in the presidency, but we can have a senator who is capable of going out to look for investors to come and say, look, we need you to come and do
Thank you, Antonio. Thank you for being political. We all know, all of you have sides, and people, the rhetoric that, hey, let the best person win. The best person has the best person in Nimba been winning, or has people been troublizing the election? Have people been bribing, pay to play and all these kind of things? So let's call a spade a spade. Has the best person
Well,
been winning?
let me put it this way.
Okay, go ahead, Basiki.
Election will
Mary,
always
after
be.
Basiki is you.
All right, election will always be decided by majority, of course.
Right.
Okay, what I would think, Prince Johnson made a lot of statement about representation of Nimba County in government. I think one of the problems between he and President Weah, was that Weah promised him to give certain position to Nimbayan, and Weah reneged on that promise. So he decided to support Joseph Boakai against him. Okay. In terms of diversity, my concern will be, with regard to Prince Johnson, how many other people he nominated for various position or slot that was allocated to Nimba County. And as far as I know, on 1 or 2 different occasions, Madingo personally was nominated by president, and once their name got on the floor for vote, Prince Johnson became their champion to make sure that so and so person is, considered for that position. One example would be Honorable Lucini Donzo.
Right.
When Prince Johnson was told that Lucini Donzo was from Nimba County, he made sure to campaign on his behalf to become public works minister. Okay? And like I just said, my last meeting with Prince Johnson was right after the election in 2023.
Basiki,
Yes.
in Weah government, in now Boakai government,
Mm.
how many minorities did Prince Johnson nominate?
Well, I would just say the only, I live from his own statement to me in my last meeting with
That
him.
was a private statement. I'm talking about anytime Prince Johnson talks, he always wants Nimba people in government. His whole thing is about how many Nimba people are going to get jobs. Those Nimba people that are getting jobs, are they only from the majority ethnic group, or is he nominating people also from from Kra, and then from Mandingo?
Well, he did not nominate anyone from the. I can't remember him nominating anyone from the minority tribes. All the people he nominated were from the majority tribe. But then the question would be, did the minority approach him?
Thank you. That's what I was
did
saying.
Are you kidding
minority
me?
approach
Mr.
him?
President, that's the servant of the people. Are you kidding me? You are a senator or sitting for the people. And you're going to say here today as a senator, the list senator, what they're approaching? Come on, you're supposed to be.
No, I'm talking about.
No, hold on.
Did we raise the issue? Did we raise the issue? with
Okay,
him.
Jerry, we'll let him finish, then you can come in.
The question here to me would
Yes,
be
sir.
like, okay, if someone was nominated from the B side and that person name got on the floor in the Senate, what was Spring Johnson's position in that? Did he support such a candidate? Did he not support such a person? That would be something I would want to know.
Right.
But as far as whether all the people he nominated, I think if that was the case, those of us who consider ourselves to be minority, we should have brought that issue up and say, Mr. Johnson, why is it all the time you nominating social, minor, and geo people? We got qualified people here. Why you can't nominate them? That should have been something that maybe we should have done to bring
Thank
that to
you.
your attention.
Thank you. And let's go to Jerry.
Mr.
And
John,
so
let me
the
let
next
me
question
let
You
me
is
let me weigh
the
in on that a
people.
little bit.
Hold on one second. Most
You know
of
that
Prince Johnson people were from his party. Did we have Madingo, B, and Kran in his MDR or anybody? I think
Okay,
that's the question that Vasiki was asking. Go ahead.
good question.
you know, sir, there's something called victimization. The victim begin to blame themselves because somebody do something. So that's the reason, you know, that's what happened most of the time. I mean, so that's what's going on. Look, in order for Nimba County to move on, we had to pass the ethnicity and the tribal group and all these things. That's what we need to focus as a new Nimba County. If we want to really be serious tonight in Nimba County, as all Nimari on the show, except our brother from Lofa County, we have to call the A for A. We got to call the spade for spade. Let's be realistic here. Okay? From 1847, let's put it to historical perspective. You must say we're in America tonight. There are people who fought for the minority in this country. Some of us today, we have good job working with the government or working for the United States government because you know what? There are people who fought for the minority. How many person in Nima County today stood up for the minority? Name me one person. That's number one. Today, we had 9 representatives. 9 representatives in Nima County. How many minority in the office? 0. 0.
No, we have one minority in the house right now, which is Musa Beriti.
Okay, Musa Ability, fine. Okay, fine. I'll give it to you. For argument, I'll give it to you. Musa Ability. Okay, besides Musa Ability, how many representatives in the house or a representative right now? How many minority in the office? You want to tell me there's no B person that can do janitor work? That maybe that would be the least. But one person can drive. The vice president of Republic of Liberia, he is from Nima County. How many B person across the spectrum? How many person he get in your office from the minority tribe? 0. 2 senators. 2 senators from Nima County. How many minority in their office? 0. So when we want to talk there as a Nimarian, let's be open to ourselves. It's a new generation. It is time for all. If we keep looking behind, we stay using the view mirror, we're not going to go nowhere. So, folks, tonight is a good night that we had Nima from across the spectrum. You must say we are minority here. Now let's be realistic to ourselves. Nima County, like my brother said, is one of the 5 growing in the Republic of Liberia besides Monserrado. I just came from there. I left from there, I think 2 days or 1 week. On the 27th, the 23rd, I left Liberia. I went through the Beltway from Monrovia, through Bon County, went through, and I went through Riverside. I went through the loop. And I start making. But let's be realistic when it comes to Nima County. The slave themselves now become the slave masters in Nima County. That's what it is. Let's call it as it is.
So, Jerry, what do you advise? How do we move forward?
Our inclusiveness.
Mr. John.
Inclusiveness. Here, one of the board members here, or is the chairman of the board, Mr. Zor, is the chairman of the board for the Nima County. How many billion dollar person he has reached to in the United States? I know
Can I respond to that quickly before I lost my talk?
Let me finish.
I know Tony had reached out to me, I think about almost 10 years ago. So I know Tony, I lost contact with him. I'm going to give him the credit. Yeah, at one point, he was recruiting me to be part of Unico. And there was a reason, I'm going to give him a credit. He reached out to me. Why? Because, let me say this. It was 2000, I know 2000, 2005, 2004. I was running for to be the chairperson for chapter leader in Rhode Island here. And when food came to shop, guess what? They ostracized me. Can he speak B? And can he speak Manner? No. Can he speak Gil? No. I will push on the side. There's evidence. I'm not saying I'm a victim myself. And told him if he can contest us that, I told him. Okay. And for that time, I have not gone to Nima County meeting. I never went to Unico anymore. So this I think we're talking about. It's deeper than where we are. Until we, the new generation, we have to change our mindset. We have to change Nima County. We got to read across the spectrum. Today, like I said, people are benefiting because of a minority in America, because of people who advocated. Who is the advocate for the minority tribe in our country today? With our now representative and 2 senators and 1 vice president. I rest my case. Let the discussion go on.
Mr. Jack, can I just clarify something a little bit over there, please?
I want Momo to come in before you clarify, because you see, I want Momo to speak to that and see what he thinks. Then you come in.
Okay, thank you. So, in terms of inclusivity or diversity in Nima County, to have everyone represented at the table, no one should be seen left behind or not part of the decision making process of the county. I think elections have consequences, and elections are determined by the electorate, right? So the majority, if you're going to election, the majority will always have more representation than you than my minority. However, in order for Mandingo and all the smaller tribes in Nima County to have a representation on the table in terms of holding elected office, they themselves have to either put advocate for a bill where they could do some redistricting in Nima County, where it is heavily, where there are districts in Nima County that is heavily populated by Mandingo. Because, remember, Mandingo are spread out in Nima County. They're not like situated at one place. So if they want to have a representation where they are heavily populated, they can do some sort of redistricting where it will favor them, that they can determine their own destiny, that they will end up being in majority in that particular sort of district. Then they will constantly have that representation, but for now it's going to be difficult. Momo,
what Jerry was speaking about is not elected position. He said he want to be a lead janitor.
Okay, so a permanent position. Okay, so yes, to that point, I see a valid point. He made a valid point there, right? Because it is Prince Johnson who was a godfather. As a godfather, as a father, no matter how different your kids look in appearance, they're all your kids, right? You have to make sure you take care of all of them equally, right? So I think Prince Johnson missed a mark there, where he should have sent names of he should have probably had a meeting and see. Look, I want to see every tribe represented at the national level, where I want to see some Mandingos, I want to see some all the different tribes, especially with respect to the minority, to be represented in Nimba. For Nimba, because they want to also sort of help in the developmental process of Nimba County. Like I always said, Nimba, you guys, we are all looking at you guys, because you guys are like a shining light to a lot of that other counties should look to, in order to move on with their developmental agenda. Because what Nima is doing today, Nima is almost like the second. I could say people say to the third, but I take Nima to be second for most of kind of in terms of economic prosperity. Because if you go to Nima County, all the stores in Ghana and whatever are owned by Nibayans. You don't see just any kind of like a foreigner owning stores there. So, and then let me answer this question: who do we want to represent replace the kind of person to replace? Because I really want to answer that, to replace Prince Justin. Look, it's all about qualification. It's all about experience, right? But or however, it is not so in our political dispensation. Tribal politics is real in Liberia.
Yeah,
whether you
it
like it
is.
or not, as distasteful as it may seem, right? Tribal politics is going to play. And then even though Prince Johnson is dead, that the dead Prince Johnson still has influence today. And that would be to them because Prince Johnson had left someone behind. Someone said Koga was the one he had always advocated for, like a son, like a brother to him. That he wanted he wanted Koga to be senator of Nima County. However, it never happened. But I see that Gio Minor playbook is coming back again. It's going to be tribal politics, regardless of whether we like it or not. And for me, if you ask me who you want to be, I say my mother, Ile Gongolo Ware. However, how people have different things about what she did when she was superintendent, I believe she has a qualification, she has the experience, and once she's put in that position, regardless of what issues that something Biden has have on her, I believe Ile Gongolo Ware is the best candidate to replace Prince Johnson. I know she's going to
Thank
unify
you.
Nima County if she's given the opportunity to serve her people.
Thank you. And I'll go back to my names. Thank you for putting forward your Garrison Yelu, Samuel Koga, Edith Gonglo, Thomas Grupi, Roland Duo, Ta Wongwe, Mark William, or Gleewon, Salipo Goba, Dr. George Gompu. Nixon, you leaning anywhere?
Yeah, I'm learning anyway. Somewhere. I was just coming to speak to my brother from the Borough area. You see, sorry. Yeah, thank you for the correction. I'm sorry. There's one thing we continue to miss as Nimbayans. Let me be very frank. When we go into Nimba County, we mess with each other. When we get out there, whether you Madingo, you Cry, you Bassa, you Gio, you Mano, trust me, nobody comes between us. I can give one example right now. One of our brothers from the minority tribe, Councillor Kabina Jane, when his constitutional right was taken from him, Nimbayan went on the street, dominated by the very Manon, Gio, or majority tribe you're talking about. That meeting was called. I was in America. I got a call. Who initiated that? Tiko Yole. Tiko Yole said, you know what? He's our father. He's a Nimbayan. We will not sit. Nimbayan took the street. They marched to Senator Johnson's office. He said, I will take your flight to the president. What am I saying? One Nimbayan force, the others fall. So when you have a leader and you have this huge population of Nimba County, that's why we have district superintendent,
Nixon,
chief, client chief,
Nixon,
town chief, all of these leaders.
Nixon.
Brother Conan,
Nixon, let us not speak in generalities. Did Prince Johnson appoint anybody? All the people Prince Johnson talked to President Weah, President Bouaka, did he take any other person besides the two majority? That's the question that Bacon raised. And then James Sedi is raising another question here. He said, what did Prince Johnson do to the crown mayor appointed by George Weah to serve as superintendent of Nimba? I don't know, but he keeps asking, I should ask the question. So what was Prince Johnson doing to at least put forward other people besides the two majority? Or you say you can't do anything only when you get outside?
No, that's not what I'm saying. Prince Johnson cannot go in the ballot box and separate the number that was put there for Mr. Jah from Mr. Leeway. What we are saying is the electorate are not, they don't know you. You can't get to them. Don't just blame somebody because he's the leader or he's on top there. What the problem is and continue to be is we take ourselves to be this side and that side. Let our brothers and sisters that think they are minority come up and say something and see if the price will not be heard.
Say something for
say
them.
Something. Say, hey, Mr. Senator or Honorable Senator, You are giving all the opportunities to other. What's about us? And like I just said here, when it comes to Nimba people, let's forget about the name calling and the trap and this. We are always together. That thing that happened way back have gone. Right now, we are interrelated again. I mean, the intermarriages is going on, and we are building side by side. The only way we can find a better replacement for Senator Johnson is to sit down and say, you know what, I don't speak Kra, but I will go to that district. I don't speak Bassa, I will go to that district. I don't speak Madingo, I will go to that town. I mean, if you do that, we will know the best candidate. But if we want to sit in our corner for somebody to reach to us, I think we might be missing the mark.
Right.
Can I say something quick before somebody come in?
Yeah, but Tony will come in, but say something quick.
Yeah, he's talking about intermarriage. My aunt married to John's daughter, Frank's daughter, mother. That was my aunt from Tabata. So when we talk about integration or we talk about marriage, intermarriage, and all these things, is there. But at the same time, because you as a leader, you have to reach out to people. It's your responsibility as a leader. That's your responsibility. The weakness of the individual, you take it to be their strength. That's what I'm talking about here tonight. It's not because of Jerry.
Mr. Ja, I just missed some point. Can you give me just 1 minute? Let me just clarify something that I missed, please.
So okay. I'll come back to something, but go ahead. I just wanted to make that point.
Thank you very much. When it comes to Unico, let me set the record right. We have Blessing Paul from the Babli district. She served as vice president, national vice president for Unico, 2 terms. When I was national secretary, Mr. Vasiki Corner right here is my evidence. Mr. Tony Leeway right here, he know about it. This is a crown, Nimba crown lady who served as vice president. Madam, I'm forgetting the vice president. Another vice president, Madingo. Honorable Mohamed MSG Keita, who is now the national president of EULA. Madingo, minority tribe, served Unico as election commissioner and then national president. We have our brothers and sisters like Emmanuel Paye right here for Pabli district. He served on Unico National Election Commission until he resigned. You have brother Waswell, Slit, all the guys, there are many of them. How did they become part of Unico on the national? They avail themselves. They became part of Unico.
I want to come in now before. I want to. I think you are missing it. If the minority is complaining and you keep telling him, you blame yourself because you didn't come out. And he gave a very beautiful example when blacks were being marginalized. It told white people to advocate. They didn't say, "Hey, yourself should do it." So, do you believe what he's saying? Unless you don't believe it, why don't you champion his cause? Well, let me go to Tony. Because of being the majority is easy, right?
I I was in and out. My sister, somebody called me. The whole thing shut down. I had to figure out how to come back on.
Yeah,
So
you put it on do not disturb.
Oh, okay. I think I didn't do that.
And Tony, before you come in, let me announce that if you want to join the conversation, time is fast spent. Please call the number on the screen, 605-313-6004. The code is 791-403 pound. Go ahead.
This thing of minority, majority, and ethnicity, less number, this number. I think we as Liberians need to do a better job at diffusing these kind of a sentiment because apparently it divides us more than it unites us. We are not doing ourselves any good when we continue to emphasize minority, majority, because we live in this advanced society where somebody can come from Texas, they come to Minnesota, and after a few years, they become governor of the state. And if we can just change minds, conscientize our people to understand that it's not about which tribe you come from, it's about what you can present to your people and how your people are receptive to that presentation so that they can be, they can be a part of you in terms of whatever you want to do. I know that a lot of these things we're talking about exist. Mr. Bago said something that I want to appreciate. Years back, we have had and we have made attempt to include all of them, and most of them came on board. And so this is all mention names of people who came on board and served with us. It's not, whether somebody came to you personally, but sometimes you need to make the sacrifice to also avail yourself. I'm not blaming him or anybody who has a grievance regarding this. I think that we need to work on it. We need to work on inclusiveness. It should not be just one tribe to another. The brother who mentioned about Edith Gongo Way, I wanted to find out from him, saying he believed also that we need to have balance in the ethnicity. Whether it would be a good idea to have Yantoy and Edith Gongo serve here as senators from Lima. Again, as another side story, a side conversation that we'll have another day. But I think that what we are dealing with is just systemic situation that exists all over the country. This is not just unique to Lima County. I remember when Dr. Walker served in Maryland County, the people rejected him, and they have to bring him back to Lima County as president of the university before they brought him to Monrovia to serve at the higher education.
Yeah.
We have this mindset that if he's not our own, he shouldn't be here. I think the only country that has cut across that probably most rather in Lima, because we have had people serving in Lima that are not even from Lima. We didn't care. The communists came from somewhere else and settled in Tapeta, and they serve in various governmental positions on behalf of the Lima people. And so are many other groups that settle in Lima. We don't discriminate in that manner, but sometimes because of situation, we don't get to the people, and we don't, we are not privileged to see them to discuss their issues and so forth. But as far as Mr. Bagon's issue is concerned, we have had, we have made progress in trying to get him on board. He knows that, and he just mentioned that earlier. And I want to still link with him so we can see how we can move this thing forward. This is a conversation that we need to have continuously. It cannot just end today. So, Mr. Bagon, please call me after the show or anytime, in 2025.
Take a pen. I'm a public servant. Take a pen. I will give my
Let's,
number
let's,
to you
let's
right now.
move this.
Give it to you.
Let's move this.
I'm free. Take a pen. You ready?
Let's move this conversation.
So Tony,
I'll give it to you on the air.
Tony,
Yeah.
are you leaning against anyone?
401. You ready?
I will. I'm a member of the
NPR. Put your number in the private chat.
I'll give it to him. I'm a public servant. I'm a public servant. What is that? 401. I don't get it.
401. Okay.
258
258
16
16
83.
83. I will call you.
My number
Yeah,
is I'm a public servant. I'm not having myself.
Tony, do you have somebody else beside these people?
This way. The names that you have called, I like some of them in terms of their ability to serve us well. Um, I don't want to be specific to a specific person because they have not officially declared their candidacy, so I don't want to be jump the boat and say I want this person, I want that person. The only person
Will you be in a position to draft somebody? Can you draft somebody to say, I think this person can make a good replacement of Senator Johnson?
Yeah, I'm leaning towards that, and I honestly have spoken to Dr. Bonku, but the problem I have is proximity to Liberia and Lima County in particular. But I would think that he would be a very good leader to represent, even herself. But the people, the voters have to tell. Koga is a good person too, so Lima will have to decide who they want. And it's not what I suggest or who I draft or who I bring on board to contest. But I think all of these candidates whose names have popped up are good people. Some we have to question them, but the majority of them are very good people who can serve Lima County. I would just say neutral for now in terms of who is.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You have somebody in mind who you think will be a good replacement of
Well, the only person that I know personally among all these candidates.
No candidate yet.
No, I said the only person that I know personally is Ide Gongno. But the question would be, on the account of gender balance, she will be the best candidate. But besides that, if she is elected, we're going to have two men as senators.
You said you had that before. You had two girls.
We had that two years before, and a lot of people complain against it. Will it be something that people will tolerate this time around? All right, that's the question that many of us have to look at. But let me also go back to some recent history in UNICO. I think UNICO in the USA has done very well in terms of minority representation. When I ran as a Secretary General with Philip Diakoto, the late Philip Diakoto, I was sad to lose the election. Nya Doke came to me, I want you to serve in my administration, and I accepted the position of Chairman for Public Relations Committee. Then after his first term, when he was running for the second term, he came to me, he wanted me to run for Vice President with him. But I said I was going to Liberia for 2016 election, so I nominated Asada Kamara, who became a Vice President of UNICO with Nyadoki.
Yeah, I remember that.
And before all of that, Honorable Mohamed Keita, who is now the president of ULA, he also became the first UNICO president to be a non-Geo or non-man as a Mandingo person. So I will give it to UNICO in America as being an example of promoting tribal diversity when it comes to leadership.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Jerry. I want you to speak, and then we can. You have anybody in mind?
No.
You don't have to mention. You don't have to even go by these names.
Yeah, what I'm thinking. Yeah, what I'm thinking. It is time to have new ideas in Nima County. Nima County is one of the fastest growing county in the Republic of Liberia, besides Moserado County. In fact, we change Nima Nina or Ganta will be the heart of Liberia. Because, I mean, I went to Ganta, I was in Ganta 2 weeks ago, less than 1 week ago. I was very impressed. I was very, very impressed. So I was proud to be a Nimarian, and I saw Ganta. I mean, I mean, driving from Moravia all the way by Nibira County. But yeah, what I want to do, yeah, what I'm thinking. It's about time that we'll have new ideas. That new generation come in. Understand, I mean, these people have served their time. They have worked hard for Nima County. But it's a time, let's bring new ideas. It's about time for new ideas to come into.
Who or what do you consider new?
New? Somebody unknown. I mean, like the name you listed, these people have served their time. Let's come with somebody new. Somebody new, maybe we'll have somebody new. Let's see.
But someone new has to present themselves, though.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm coming to. Let me learn. Let me learn. As new ideas will come.
Judge Gompo is new, right?
The election commission have not made it public yet.
Yeah,
Maybe somebody else. Let's wait and see. I know we're throwing all the names out there, all the former official, former senator, former representative, or all these things. But maybe let's wait and see. Maybe there's a new ideas. Maybe there's a young fellow or there's a young lady who say, you know what, I'm going to throw my hat into this.
Do you think? Can you kind of look around? Someone from Buidoro or Babli, or you go to the Mandingo side and say, well, I think this person can make it. Do you have someone like that in mind? Or you going to sit in the corner and say they will come for you?
No. Listen. Look, I'm champion. I'm always advocating for people. That has been my life. I've been advocating for people. So that's one of them. Okay. But what I got a few needs, like from the Mandingo tribe, yes. From the Bui tribe, yes. Maybe from the Crown tribe, yeah. I'm still thinking maybe I think at least I got somebody from the Crown tribe. Maybe about 3 names are on my mind, but let's wait and see. Or maybe I'll call them personally and say, this is what's going on. Are you interested? So that's it. New people.
Let's take a 39-second break. When we come back, we're going to get our callers.
Our Labira,
Thank you. Let's get some callers here. The first caller is area code 614.
Okay.
Caller, your name and where you calling from?
614, okay. My name is Jack Bomley Congo, calling from Ohio, Columbus, Ohio.
Welcome, yeah. Go ahead.
Yes, so I've been listening to the conversation here tonight. Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. Welcome, yeah. Thank you.
No, turn off the device you're listening to so you don't get it repeated.
Thank you.
Yeah, you are listening to something. Turn that off, please.
Turn it off?
Yeah, the TV or the thing you're listening to, just turn it off so you can just talk through the phone.
Turn that off, please.
Oh, I think we missed out. Let me get we missed the person too. Please call back. I think 2 callers fell off. James, now last, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. Thank you. Let me say good evening to very good friends over there, Fasiki Kone and Brother Tony Liwe. So this is Lassa calling from Baltimore about PYJ's legacy and his influence on whatever may be following his departure. I just want to point out that over the years, I was always amazed at how Prince Johnson lost the realization of what could have been to his key advantage, such as that because of him, the areas of Nikutan, Lookington, and all of the areas that would have been otherwise easy to burn down were kept intact because of him, and that is something that he didn't really push in recognition of his discipline, his military discipline, and his patriotism. He didn't do that. And number 2, the fact that he used to play guitar when he was fighting, when he became senator, he probably thought that was below his level, so that would have helped to improve his public image. He forgot that instead of playing guitar and singing to amuse Liberians are Christians, and they would have certainly been persuaded by that. Well, then in Nima, PYJ's influence has, over the years, been declining significantly because from the inception, he will endorse about 9 out of 9 candidates, and in the end, about 7 to 6 will win. Over the years, it went down all the way to 3 out of 9, and even the last senatorial seat, he endorsed Coca over Nia won. So he isn't, as many might be perceiving to be we're perceiving to be of late. Another thing I want to say is that the tribal politics here is great in Nima and everywhere in Liberia, but mainly in Nima. But it doesn't always work that way. For example, you got Musa Benedict. He represented a district that is predominantly Gio down, but he was able to use his money and connection, to win election. So you can always do that. In Ulaya, for example, we have Mohamed Kurma, my friend, brother here in Baltimore with me, Madingo, and he won without pushing any kind of minority argument or so, and he won. And I believe that is the same thing with the guy, the Keita, who is telling Yula now. So you should not always be able to try. Somebody on the panel said, once you can push yourself. Musa Benedict was just lucky. All these years, he said he's the richest man in Liberia. He didn't do anything in that district until he wanted to be representative. And it shows that if you have money, you probably can win because of that. But it should be more than that. It should be above that.
Thank you.
One last important point, Dennis, please, let me just say this. In Nima, I'm from the Pele group, and Nima way back was predominantly Pele. That's why Sonny Kuli has a Pele name, Ganta has a Pele name, Tapeta has a Pele name. And now, although the Pele population has declined, but they are still there. The last region in Nima before the war was Hillary Bumbley. That was a Pele man. You have an enclave of Pele settlements around there. Why, when they are naming minority groups in Nima, they always leaving the Pele out? I don't know what I should be asking that question, but if anyone could speak to that, that would be really good. Thank you all so much, Dennis. I appreciate
that. Thank you. Let me bring back Bonguli Tongo. Yeah.
All right. So as I was saying, my name is Yabomli Tonga, and I've been listening, and I see my colleague Boche on, and the other colleague, Honorable Leeway.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to listen to the conversation. But the point of correction, that speaker that I just ended, Hillary Bomley did not come from Paul County.
Mm.
He was not a Pele man. He was a Mano man from Lima County, from Puapa specifically. And he was not a tenant. He was not he was not a superintendent. He was a senator. So back to our topic. I think we should look at we should not be looking at minority or majority. I think we should be looking at those that will work as a community, not looking at the country to do something for them, but those who will volunteer their time to develop the country. And what I've noticed in the past, most of these people will leave the scene. When there is election, they will run in and say, "Oh, I want to be this, I want to be that." But after the election, whether they win or lose, they get all of these things. You don't hear anything about that. You don't see that anymore until it is time again for election. So that makes it difficult for people to choose who they want. Either Gonglo will be a good candidate, but again, they would not want to see the both Mano people, and that has been a problem in the past.
Should it really matter?
Yeah.
What if the two can bring home the bacon? Should that be a problem?
Well, it shouldn't be a problem. Actually, I'm a supporter of it. It shouldn't be a problem, but people want to talk about that to say, "Oh, she's a lady," but not being a lady, but two Mano people want to be in a house. So I just throwing it out there. Okay. But I'm a strong supporter of either Gonglo because I've seen a woman before.
Thank you.
Of course, here's what I want to also say, Dennis.
Yeah. Let the caller finish. Just jot down your points. Nikaki Willie? Caller?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so how you guys doing? How everybody?
Great.
Well, the politics in Lima, have been one-sided for a while from the old man Prince Johnson side. I mean, we supported him. The position he has as a godfather of Lima, nobody going to take that position now because what he did for the Nevadans, and they rewarded him. So nobody will do that or have done that will take that godfather position. So now Lima County is in all Nevadans' hands. And when we talk about two Mano people being in the Senate, the same Prince Johnson influenced Thomas Gupi, he influenced Jeremiah Kuhn. There was, two Geo guys over almost a decade. So that should not be a problem. But again, our people here, or Ulinko, perhaps some of the problem we had in Lima County, I hope they get. Ulinko is one of the oldest organizations in America here from Liberia. If you look at their track record, it just now in this recent year, Ulinko try to do something at least to represent a certain Liberia in Lima County. So they are just saying here from a position, the other person can, nothing better that anybody can. They themselves can point to in Lima County to say, yeah, you didn't go there. Most of them do this thing just to go back there and get position. So now we will think, I will agree to Mr. Bacon a little bit. It should not just be the dominant Mano or Gio people to own any kind of position in Lima County. The old man, he never appointed anybody that was not in his circle. So the three presidents that are gone by, they were all people that were very close to him in his party and whatever. So with that, you cannot build a whole nation or a whole country in that way.
Thank
so
you.
Now that Lima is open, we need to get together to get anybody from any minority or any person that will do the best for the country. That's what I think.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's get our last caller here. with Philadelphia area code 9298. Your name and where you calling from?
I'm calling from Pennsylvania, USA.
Your name again? Your voice is so low when you're calling your name.
My name is Tongo JSA, calling from Pennsylvania, USA.
All right, go ahead.
To make a discussion. When it comes to election, it deals with numbers. So I heard my brother talking about minority. It's not about minority, it's about majority and the numbers. So I guess he should put a set or a very set to the people, the affiliation with the people who need to come up and start talking about tribe, human or Roma. We check in our setting in England, God save Brian in the house. Save Brian is the president of our country. And biologically, Jamaica is not invited. He's from Maryland.
No, it's not. It's not true.
So let me put it together to be among the people. They to talk about Mana or Gio or Quran or better.
Thank you. Okay. Somebody came in, but they dropped it. But thank you, brother. Thank you for the call. Let me go to Terry tell Lion Yakon. Terry, you yeah, Terry, you see this email. What fish you got to fry in this one? Terry tell Lion Yakon, go ahead. All right, gentlemen, let me go back to you. It looks like Nixon want to go eat now. So let's go around the room to conclude. Teddy, are you there? All right. Okay, gentlemen, thank you for the night. I want us to go around the room for your closing. You know, let's close on this, right? Like we started before. You know, who was Prince Johnson and what do you want the replacement to be? Let's do solution driven. How do we move forward from here? What is it that we want? We all want for NIMBA. You know, the NIMBA that the entire country lived. My sister was in Yokipa from 1973 to all the way. You know, there where I saw refuge before I beat it to Bosu, and then Zerikore where I was. So NIMBA, you know, all about NIMBA. So Tony Lee alone can claim it and then say we can be there. So let's go around the room to conclude. Basiki, you want to start? You were saying something.
Yeah, if we leave all the sentiment aside, in terms of substance, I'm not sure any candidate in NIMBA recent history has invested in development compared to Musa Belete. I'm sure I went with him in 2023, going from village to village, from town to town. And there are places that people said it's been for 30 years, we have not seen car coming here. It's because of Musa ability we see car road coming through here today. And I'm not sure if there has been any candidate that has invested heavily in development in any district compared to him. So maybe he could be considered to be the senator. If it is on the account of development, I think Musa could be one of the best candidates. But again, tribe and cultural differences may be a factor why some people may not want Musa to be a senator. But other than that, if it is based on tangible development, I think he's the best. He should be the best candidate.
You put your money on Musa. Tony,
you know,
I didn't know your first name was Carl Anthony Lewy. Everybody call you Tony Lewy.
Yeah, that's my full name. And don't call you on the media like that because then they will know me. Look, the thing is, one of the major mistakes that most of our voters, it's not really by mistake, but because of the way our leaders present themselves, I should say, not represent, but present themselves, is that they can solve all of the problems when they are representative or senator. That is not even the role of representative or senator. Their role there is to make law and safeguard the constitution of our country, provide enabling environment for our people to thrive. But they usually use whatever little resources they have to go and do a little development here and there because they want position. I don't think that is an ideal way of I know it influences our people, and it has been a practice in our country for many, many, many years. But I think changing minds would be a better thing to do so that our people are conscientized to understand that the people we send to that house in the house of elders are actually there to make sure that we are protected. We are brought those things that we endeavored to live a more successful life, or and so it is a difficult thing, but it is what we have right now. But I can say this to conclude on Senator Johnson. Senator Johnson was a man who actually his leadership sparked development in Liberia, in Nima County specifically. Given his role, we all will agree that he was this leader who wanted development, who wanted education, who wanted everything that we thrive in our life to achieve. I mean, he built an elementary school, junior high school, a high school, and a university in Nima. These schools will be there forever so that the children of our future generations can enjoy and learn from there. It provides an avenue for them to be able to improve their own lives. I think these are something we need to remember Senator Johnson for, and not, about who he picked to be senator or representative. The people of Nimba will decide who they want as senator or to replace Senator Johnson. And Senator Johnson's role in Nimba for the past 80 years cannot easily be forgotten, and it will not be forgotten in the entire country of Liberia. Given his role as a political leader of MDR, I think that we need to figure out how we can strengthen his political party so that it live after him and thrive in the future to become number one, number two, or whatever the number is that the people gravitate towards. But I think we should try to figure out how we can have shows to conscientize our people, teach them how the constitution work, how our representative work, their role in society, and what they are supposed to do. Actually, I'm a believer of the people deciding who these people, how the people get their pay, who make their salary, and how they are how they how they are paid, and how they are giving perks in order for them to serve us. But we allow them to live and tell us what they want, literally take whatever they want from the budget for their own salary. I'm against that very seriously. I think it's about time we begin, a campaign that we can have a referendum where the people will decide on the Liberian national budget as to what these people should be paid, not what they want to be paid. On
Thank you.
another note, I think that we need to have another show so that we can showcase what Senator Johnson has done in Liberia, his role. This should not be the only one. I know that it was on a short notice that some of us came here, but I think we should, Dennis, I'm putting a challenge to you, try to organize another show better than, something that we can have a better conversation other than the, game of minority and majority, so that we can discuss some substantive development that Senator Johnson brought to our people in Nima County and Liberia as a whole. Thank you so much.
Thank you. There will be others who don't look at it in that way. We'll bring those people together as well. Is that okay?
Thank you. Yes.
All right. Jerry, you're closing.
Yes, sir. It's not about sustain. It is about the attribute of the people. That's what we're looking at here. Look, Nima, we can do better than what we are. And until we acknowledge that we have a problem, because I see most of the comment or the minority or the majority. Listen, one of the guys said it's all about number. That's the best thing. It's all about number. That we have, if we go look at the statistics, I was just looking at it as we were here. We have about 18,000 votes. That's it. So let's assume at 18,000 votes, vote for Jerry Barker for District 9. That's doing it's a dime in the pocket. It's all about number. Okay? Let me put it to a statistic position. When the B and the people said they wanted to leave Nima County to go to Riverside, what happened? Prince Johnson, what the doing of the Senate? He stepped on it. It never went nowhere. Okay, so these are things we in the Nima County. So let us not be blind. Let us not be blind. It's about time. Let us lift up people who cannot be uplifted. Let's look at somebody and say, look, in the tribe here, somebody had a potential. You can recruit. Let's look at Hillary Clinton and Obama. And Kennedy said, the torch have been passed and the dream shall live on. It's about time for new generation. It is about time to change our ideas. What our father did, what our father did not understand. You and myself, we are here today. We are lettered. We are privileged. Someone who came from the bush, I work 3 days for 40 pieces of mahogany on my back. No, I'm serious.
I understand. I'm just laughing.
To walk from Biendoru to come to Tapeta. 40 pieces of mahogany. I tell them that 40 pieces of mahogany. Today, I can boast on the show. I'm a writer. I mean, I enjoy life, but it is not about Jerobako anymore. How about those that behind me? These are the focus that we're supposed to be focused in Nima County. You must say, we're privileged here. We got air conditioning, we got light, we press button.
So
what about those?
I wanted to mention something that I forgot.
Please end your thought. We are closing.
Yeah.
So, able for us to do this thing, folks, we have to work as a team. As a team. Let us not forget about, you see, when one person get hurt on a team, everybody get hurt. You know, so what my appeal would be as a Nimana, let's reach across the aisle. Let's recruit. Let's reach across the aisle. Regardless who you are in Nimakanda, reach across the aisle. Maybe you might know somebody that I don't know. You will bring it to my attention. Jerry, this person is the person. Or told him like you did it last time. Reach out to some of us and we will work it together. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Before you close, I wanted to just appeal to the people of Dimba. Before Senator Johnson demise, I think a week prior to his visit, or during his visit to Nimba, the last visit he paid to Nimba before he passed away, he actually passed the torch to our current Vice President Jeremiah Kuhn and explained to our people that he's leaving his son with us. We should protect him. We should work with him. We should, take care of him, and he will in turn take care of us. I want to appeal to our people of Nimba to put their hands around Vice President Jeremiah Kuhn and the rest of the government, but most importantly, to protect the image and interests of Nimba County through MDR. This is the man that Senator Josie anointed and said he will be our leader. I agree that Koga is taking the traditional, leadership in that context. But I think that politically, this is the man who was anointed by the senator through the political party for us to have as our leader. And I want to appeal to all Nimbayans to support him. Let's put our hands around him. He's young. He has the ability to excel in the future. And it is very important that we all lend our, helping hand to make sure that he succeeds. Thank you.
Thank you. On that note, I want to thank all of you for coming, and with our viewers, we're going to now end with our song that says, "We are all Liberians." Have a good night, and God bless you.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our home. Liberian people. Liberia.